Left field. It is out of here.
Hey guys, Mr. Coach DJ here, and I'm back with some more coachable content. So at all levels of baseball, you need to learn how to throw down a bunt. But what I see a lot, especially in the younger players, is you don't know how to bunt, but a coach is still asking you to do it. You'll see this. And even in high school, you'll see a little bit of this too. So I'm here to show you how to properly do it. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Mr. Coach DJ. And make sure to give me a thumbs up if you like these videos. Now let's get going. Today I want to walk you through 5 steps in laying down a bunt. And then bunting could be used in various situations for whatever the needs are of the coach. So this is just a good tool to add into your bag. Step 1, you want to get a good grip on the bat. Now where do you get your grip? Well, on every bat, you usually have like a middle mark to let you know. So this one in particular, you see here, kind of have a line. That's where you want to grip, just like that. Now I want to show you with different bats that they all have some sort of middle mark, some sort of separation where you want to grab the bat. So same thing here, you don't have necessarily a straight line, but you have a change in color. You'll have a separation. So it's the same thing here. You want to get yourself a good grip, kind of in that middle mark. Now sometimes you'll have bats that'll be a solid color, or it doesn't really show a distinction where you see the middle at. So you usually want to look for some sort of logo, something like that. You'll see how the barrel change starts getting smaller, kind of in that middle section of the bat where you can hold a good balance with one hand. Now you have the same with softball bats, except for their barrels are a lot longer. Now this is a slow pitch bat, but most softball bats are pretty much the same as far as the design, the length. So for here, same thing. I have a 2-piece, so you can see this is kind of more the middle. Now with softball, they bunt a little different. As you can see, you have more barrel length than you would on a baseball bat. So you might want to come down a little more on bunting with softball, but because you have more of a meat for your barrel. But same thing, you have some sort of midpoint for this bat that lets you know this is where I need to put my hand. So same thing here. I got a bat that's pretty much one solid color. So a little worn down, it's an old bat, but I still have some sort of midpoint. As you see, as the barrel gets smaller right here, right in the middle. Like I said, softball's a little bit different. So now that we established a good grip on our bat, now let me explain the reason why you want to have an open space when you're holding your bat for bunting. A lot of times I see people bunting like this, bunting like that, or they're doing this. You're putting your hands, your fingers, in the way of the pitch, in the way of the ball. So if you go to bunt, the ball comes at your hands and you go back or you miss it, you miss the bunt, where the bat hits the ball and it hits your hand, you don't want to catch a fastball in these knuckles. You're going to wind up breaking your fingers. So a good idea is to keep the whole front of the bat just exposed by the bat, and none of your body parts are in the way. So you keep it here so that the ball does come, or if you get nervous, you can kind of pull your hand away, get it out of the way, but the bat's still out here, or you can lay the bat down. So it's for safety. You want to keep your fingers out of the way. All right. So the second thing is, now that we have our grip established, now we want to get a good bunt stance. So just like when you're fielding, you want to get in a good stance to field the ball. You want to get into a good stance to bunt the ball. So you have a couple different types of bunting needs. So in a situational need, you'll have a sack bunt, which you're pretty much showing the bunt and everybody knows you're bunting. Then you'll have a suicide bunt, suicide squeeze, which you kind of do a little delay, but you're also trying to bunt to move a runner over or get a runner coming home. Then you have bunt for base hit, which you want to lay a bunt down, but you want to give enough delay so that no one knows you're bunting, to where you give yourself enough time to lay the bunt down, take off running. So when you get into a sacrifice bunt, you basically want to show this early. So when you bunt, you want to come around and actually square up towards the pitcher, because you want to get this bat out here and get it down so you can see the ball, right? So again, I got my grip. You want to get a good stance so you can see the ball, and then lay your bunt down. When you're laying down a sacrifice bunt, you're here. As the pitcher's throwing the ball, getting ready to throw the ball, you're here and you're seeing it. Now maybe on a squeeze bunt, you wait a little bit, the pitcher's coming up, coming like this, and then you release. Usually the runners are running. It's kind of used as like a hit and run. So as a hit and run, right, you're hitting the ball, the runners are running, and you're trying to make sure you're putting the bat on the ball with a hit. So the same thing is now you're doing hit and run, but now you're putting the bunt down. So you're kind of showing it late, runners start running, and then you're putting the bunt down. Now for a bunt for a base hit, like I said, you want to delay a little bit. So you're here, right? Pitcher comes down, releases, right? And then you're squaring up the bunt. It's got to be quick. Got to move those feet quick to get that bunt down. Then you have a drag bunt, which drag bunts can only be done by left-handers because you're dragging, right? If you did it right-handed, you kind of could drag bunt, but you got to be really fast. So you're here, right? You're already running, but that's a lot harder because you got to get that bunt down perfect. So typically a drag bunt is done for left-handers. To get a base hit, you want to drag bunt, kind of hit down to third base. I'll explain that in a different video, but same thing, you want to get that bat out, get that bunt down. So when you bunt for a base hit, it's kind of a delay. The ball's already kind of thrown. No one really knows that you're bunting. A lot of situations I like to do as a coach is if the third baseman is far back, I'm like, hey, we can lay a bunt down. It's playing so deep, just bunt it down to third base for a base hit. So you're here, pitch is thrown, right? And then I'm bunting. All right, so the third thing that you need to do is apply a little bit of power behind it. Takes the power off. So what you could do is when a pitch is thrown, you kind of cushion the bunt. You bring the bat towards you to cushion the ball as it comes in. What this does is slows the ball down when it gets hit. It bounces and maybe goes a couple feet in front of you. That's for situational stuff, especially if you have runners on. You want to keep it here, make the catcher make the play. Sometimes catchers, it's harder to throw to try to throw to second base from picking up a bunt, and it's just you want to catch people off guard. The other thing is to kind of push out. So as the bunt's coming, right, you're pushing to wherever where you want that ball to go. So it gives a little bit of contact to the ball, pushes the ball out further away from home plate to get the ball away from the catcher. To maybe put it in the middle for the pitcher to field. Sometimes pitchers don't do well fielding bunts, but it's pushing the ball out into the field, kind of like a bunt for a base hit type of thing. And also, especially if you have a runner on third, you want the runner to come home, you kind of push the ball away from home so you get rid of that play at home. And then you just have your regular where you're just holding it, right? There's no cushion, there's no push. You're just holding your bat out, trying to get the bunt down, and just help wherever the ball goes, it goes, and then you take off. So again, you're here, ball comes, I'm pushing it out, I'm pulling it in to kind of catch the ball on my bat, or I'm just out here, boom, bunting. Now the fourth thing we do, right? We have our control, or we have our hold, how we're holding the bat. Now our left hand controls where the bat goes, right? So if you see here, I got a little flat, but now my left hand, or my bottom hand, controls where the bat goes. So if I'm left-handed, right, so same thing here, holding the bunt out, but now my right hand controls that bat more. So I can, if I'm trying to angle, right, you have pretty much an anchor with your bottom hand. So if I want to bunt to third base, I'm here, right? Don't go like that. Just stay flat and just angle where you want the ball to go. If I want to bunt to first base, right? I'm still holding my hand here, and I'm just changing the angle of where I want the ball to bounce off my bat, right? So if it's high, I'm here, holding this here, instead of going like that, right? I'm just here. I'm like, oh, there it is. If it's low, same thing. I want to bunt, using this for the control. So the last thing, the fifth thing I want to tell you is that after you got all these steps down and you actually put a bunt down, you gotta take off out of the box. So I'm here, ready to bunt. Here, boom, lay the bunt down, gotta take off. So now I'm gonna lay down some bunts with a little bit of live pitching. Pitches don't have to be, full, 50 feet away, 60 feet away, whatever your mound distance is. They just need to be 10, 15, 20 feet away, because you're not hitting the ball, you're just laying down bunts. So you can have them back away, and for some of you, if it's hard for you to like just throw, get a good overhand, like kind of BP toss, you can also throw it underhand, just kind of throwing it straight. So this might be an exercise that you can do with a softball player who's trying to work on pitching, so they can just kind of get that underhand workout. And then also, it's good for soft toss throws, but you want to keep it a little more flat, a little harder, so the batter can get used to that, ball kind of coming in quick. So now I'm going to show kind of pulling the ball in to show the difference. I'm going to pull it in, we'll push them out, and I'm going to hold some flat so you can see how the balls go. So that's what it looks like with your partner throwing underhand, giving you underhand toss. And then one last thing I want to go over is kind of pulling back. So you don't always want to just bunt at everything. If it goes in the dirt, if it's way too high, right? You don't leave your bat out there, you need to pull it back. So I'm going to show you that real quick too. So I'm here, ready to bunt, right? I pull it back. That was a ball. All right, I'm here ready to bunt. Bunt at a strike. Here ready to bunt. That was a little hot. Umpire's going to call those balls and strikes if they need to. Same thing, if I go out here to bunt, like I said earlier, don't just leave the bat out. That's a strike. The bat's still out. All right, so there you go. There's a few things that you can do to add into your toolbox when it comes to bunting. There's a lot more you can do. I'll explain later, how to place the ball in certain areas, things like that. But just keep practicing this and get used to getting your grip in the right spot and kind of being out there to bunt. Hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. There's many more to come. Drink water. Thank you for being coachable.